Alright, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Makakwadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, where I learned this truth from. I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. And today I just want to go into, a quick lesson, pretty much about, the times that we're living in, and the times that are approaching. So Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. I'm going to start in the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 2, and it says, My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure it, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe in him, and and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for the everlasting joy and mercy. And yes, that's pretty much, the time that we're coming into, the time of Jacob's trouble, and it's going to be a very terrible time, a time as such has never been seen on the earth, since there was a generation, and pretty much, we're going to need the Lord to pretty much deliver us. We need the Lord to deliver us from the bad times that are going to come upon the earth, We're going to go to the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, and verse 15, and it says, See then that ye walk circumspectly, and not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. And yes, we are in the evil days, Here in Babylon the Great, also known as America, things are getting worse and worse by the day. We're approaching that time, We're getting closer to, the Lord's second coming. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 7, and it says, Alas, for the day is great, so that is none like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And yes, that he is going into, the elect of the nation of Israel, because they're going to be the only ones to escape, ultimately escape the Lord's wrath that he's going to bring upon the earth, for the wickedness that's being pushed throughout the earth, primarily here in America, Hence the reason why. It's the reason why, he's going to bring that terrible judgment. First and foremost, it's called Jacob's trouble because, Jacob, meaning, the Israelites, all 12 tribes, were in trouble, because we went off. We disobeyed, we didn't follow the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments, and he's still angry with us. But, we have mercy, or the elect have mercy, through our Lord Yahweh Shai, their blood is covered. But ultimately, the time of Jacob's trouble is primarily for, the 2/3 of the nation of Israel because of their wickedness, I'm going to go to the book of Daniel, chapter 12, and verse 1, and it says, At that time, shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. And yes, again, that's going to the elect that are going to be delivered from the terrible times to come. It's going to be so bad upon the earth. Michael the archangel is going to have to come down, to help fight for the elect, to help deliver them from Esau, Edom, and ultimately, those ICBM missiles that are going to pelt America. It's going to be a very, very terrible time, because things are getting worse, the birth pains, because our Lord is getting closer to returning. So, things are getting worse and worse, There's the book of Matthew chapter 24 and verse 7. Slakia. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And again, this is the things that are going to take place during this particular time. Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. All these other nations are going to war with each other. It's going to be, race riots, among men, insurrection, these things. Ultimate war with to ultimately be destroyed by the Lord in the so, There's the book of Joel chapter 3 and verse 2, and it says, I will also gather all nations, and I will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among all the nations, Slakia, whom they have scattered among the nations, and parted my land. And yes, the Lord is going to gather them in the valley of Jehoshaphat, in the Hebrew Yahweh Shaphat, which is the Lord's judgment, which is over there in the Middle East. They're going to be gathered together. They're going to go to war over there, to ultimately be destroyed, because, they're going to go to war with each other, ultimately to stop fighting each other and try to fight the Lord when he returns. It's going to be that bad. But that's what the Lord is coming back to do. He's coming back to is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, and verse 14. It says, "These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called, chosen, and faithful." And yet, excuse me, you know, that's what's going to take place when the Lord returns. He's going to take down all of the nations simultaneously, primarily Esau, Edom, because he is the wicked that the Bible speaks of. And this man has to be taken out of power, or no flesh will remain, you know. But, again, that's pretty much the time that we're coming into, the time of Jacob's trouble. Things are still getting ramped up, they're pretty much, trying to yet again demonize the truth, because of the whole Kanye situation, But again, it's going to stir things up, So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakapadash. I like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from. And I like to say peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Till the next time I say Shalom.